Alrighty, party peoples of the interwebs, it's time for your daily dose of the Trump and the update summary of day 12 of the Alvin Bragg persecution out of New York before the totally not corrupt Judge Juan Marchand, whose daughter totally doesn't work at a PR firm representing Adam Schiff and political action committees raising millions of dollars off this very prosecution that her father is spearheading or being the judge of. Okay, set that aside, the update. There are two updates on the day. One is the nothing burger that was the witness from the prosecution today. One, Mr. McConney, the former Trump Organization controller, and the other was contempt, a 10th finding of contempt by Judge Juan Marchand. You will not believe the reason for which Judge Marchand just found Trump in contempt and what statement Trump made that was so contemptuous. We had to think of the safety of the jurors. And not just the safety of the jurors, the safety of the family members of the jurors who shouldn't be reading the news anyhow. And the statement that Trump made is so freaking innocuous, you would have to be a corrupt judge to think it was contemptuous. But the first update, the nothing burger that was the testimony of McConnell. Now, you should be following Inner City Press, who is live tweeting this entire trial because they're not allowing cameras in. But the bottom line, the former controller of the Trump Organization basically testified that Trump never directed him to make any of these so-called felonious payments to Michael Cohen, the hush money payments, that basically what they paid Michael Cohen was straight up his retainer that he asked for month after month, and that's pretty much it. Inner City Press, at Inner City Press, Trump's lawyer, Emile Beauvais. You rarely spoke to President Trump, did you? McConney, I did not. Beauvais, he never asked you to make these entries. McConney, he did not. Beauvais and Mr. Weisselberg didn't tell you President Trump told him to do it. McConney, no. Inner City Press, at Inner City Press, Trump's lawyer Beauvais. Here's Michael Cohen's signature block. Does it say, quote, fixer, end quote? McConney, it does not. Beauvais, Michael Cohen was basically a vendor to President Trump, right? McConney, yes. Beauvais, he said he had an outside firm. McConney, yes. And from earlier on in the day, prosecutor, so $35,000 a month. McConnell, yes, we'd wire it each month starting February 1st, 2017. Prosecutor, did you take notes? McConnell, those are my notes. Bonus $50,000, then $180,000, grossing up the $180, so it's $420,000 wire from DJT. Prosecutor, with the grossing up, was this an expensive reimbursement like others? McConnell, no. Prosecutor, let me show you this exhibit. Trump's lawyer Beauvais, objection. Judge Marchand, please approach. Whispered sidebar ensues. Justice Marchand, objection. Prosecutor, please read this. McConney, I asked for an invoice. A lot of people ask for your money. We need an invoice. Michael wrote, remind me of the monthly amount. I replied, $35,000. Then he wrote, quote, pursuant to the retainer agreement, end quote. So the bottom line, explosive nothing burger they got out of McConney was that Michael Cohen was being paid a retainer agreement, quote, pursuant to the retainer agreement, end quote. And that Donald Trump never told him to make any of the payments as per whatever. They just paid Michael Cohen his monthly retainer for legal services. But now let's get into the actual bombshell of the day. The judge, Juan Marchand, finding Trump guilty a 10th time of contempt of court. And when you read that for which he was found in contempt of court, you will think that we are living in a bizarro universe where up is down, right is wrong, good is bad, black is white, and not corrupt judges are totally corrupt. Findings of fact. This court has considered the respective arguments of both parties, the exhibits introduced into evidence at the hearing, and all submissions filed in support of and in opposition to the motion for contempt. As more fully explained in ADA Conroy's affirmation of April 25, 2024, the people allege defendant violated the expanded order on 4 separate occasions as follows. 1, by virtue of a statement defendant made to the media in the hallway of 100 Center Street, and we can just skip to what that statement was. Among other things, defendant stated, quote, and when are they going to look at all the lies that Cohen did in this last trial? He got caught lying in the last trial. So he got caught lying, pure lying, and when are they going to look at that? End quote. 2, by virtue of an interview defendant gave on April 22nd, 2024 at approximately 6 p.m. to a program called Just the News, No Noise, which is broadcast on a network called Real America's Voice. Among other things, defendant stated, quote, you know, the judge is rushing the trial like crazy. Nobody's ever seen a thing go like this. That jury was picked so fast, 95% Democrats, the area's mostly all Democrat. You think of it as just a purely Democrat area. It's a very unfair situation, that I can tell you. And then 2 more. 3, by virtue of an interview defendant gave to a program called Action News, which is an ABC News affiliate in Pennsylvania on April 23, 2024, which aired at approximately 5:56 p.m. Among other things, defendant stated, quote, well, Michael Cohen is a convicted liar and he's got no credibility whatsoever. Michael Cohen was a convicted liar, but what he did is he did some pretty bad things, end quote. And 4, by virtue of a press event defendant held at 49th Street and Park Avenue in Manhattan on April 25th, 2024 at approximately 6:35 a.m. in response to a question about David Pecker's ongoing testimony in this trial. Quote, he's been very nice. I mean, David's been very nice. A nice guy, end quote. Now, if you have half a brain and half a shred of dignity, you're reading all of that and you're saying, how the hell can any of these possibly in any realm of a sane universe be considered contemptuous? Well, don't worry, because 3 of the 4 of them, items 1, 3, and 4, were not found to be contempt. But item 2, what Trump said about rushing the jury through, was found to be contemptuous. He was fined $1,000 for it. And wait until you hear the judge's rationale for which he found him in contempt for that statement. Defendant violated the order by making public statements about the jury and how it was selected. In doing so, defendant not only called into question the integrity and therefore the legitimacy of these proceedings, but again raised the specter of fear for the safety of the jurors and of their loved ones. Such concerns undoubtedly threaten to, quote, interfere with the fair administration of justice and constitutes a direct attack on the rule of law, end quote, capital R, capital L. It remains the court's fundamental responsibility to protect the decency of the criminal process and to control disruptive influences in the courtroom. First off, and I've highlighted this already, the judge himself prided himself on how quickly they got through jury selection. It's a fact that they got through jury selection fast and faster than anticipated. The judge himself said it. Second, it is an undeniable fact that they are in a highly democratic demographic area. It's an undeniable fact. And can you imagine that any actual sane judge with a shred of honesty would depict what Trump said as being threatening to the jury members and their family? He simply said what we all know. The judge got through jury selection faster than anyone anticipated. They picked a jury quite quickly in a highly democratic area, and he thinks it's a show trial, and he thinks it's outrageous. Nothing in what Trump said about the jury selection could reasonably possibly in any realm of the universe be misconstrued as a threat on the jury members and or their families. It's simply preposterous. And the judge is faulting Trump and finding him in contempt for casting doubt on the integrity and therefore the legitimacy of the proceedings. Of course he is. He's denying them. He thinks it's a total political shit show. What do you think he's going to do? Admit that they're legitimate and therefore he must be guilty because they're so full of integrity and totally legitimate? This is outrageous. He's basically compelling Trump to shut up and not even criticize the process, not even deny the proceedings themselves. Otherwise, he's going to be held in contempt. It's outrageous. If people don't understand that it's outrageous, enjoy the hell that you are ushering in, because it doesn't stop with Trump. It ends with the loss of everyone's freedoms. When are you going to get that through your thick partisan skulls? And then the judge, because he absolutely wants to put Trump behind bars, has to reissue his warning again. Bear in mind, if you do this again in the future, I might just have to put you behind bars. Much like Putin locked up Navalny, we're going to lock up Trump here. But when Putin did it, it was totally authoritarian and totally unjustified. When we lock up our political opponents, it's totally justified, because after all, they denied the integrity, they denied the legitimacy of this witch hunt prosecution. Therefore, defendant is hereby put on notice that if appropriate and warranted, future violations of its lawful orders will be punishable by incarceration, and it is hereby ordered that defendant pay a $1,000 fine for his violation of this court's lawful order by close of business on Friday, May 10, 2024, and it is further ordered that if the offending statement has been posted to defendant's Truth Social account or his official campaign website, it is to be removed by 2:15 p.m. Monday, May 6, 2024. Nothing better than trying to challenge an order that the judge himself declares is a lawful order. Good luck ever challenging that again. And by the way, the judge is ordering him to remove information from his campaign website, and they're accusing Trump of election interference. This entire persecution is election interference. Everybody needs to understand that once and for all. That being said, the longer this persecution goes on, I think more and more people are beginning to understand that the actual election interference is coming out of the Fannie from Georgia, is coming out of the Engeron from New York, and now it's coming out of the Judge Juan Marchand, whose daughter is totally not making millions of dollars hands over fist representing Adam Schiff, who's fundraising off this persecution, other Democrat political action committees fundraising off this persecution. The longer this goes on, the more people are beginning to learn the truth, and I dare say, and I dare cross my fingers and hope to the goodness of the Lord that they begin to object to this, because it's enough already. All right, and that is the summary of day 12 of the Trump persecution out of New York. Stay tuned for more. If you like what I do, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment in the comment section below because it feeds the algorithm. Viva Frei on Rumble, the Viva Frei on Twitter, vivabarneslaw.locals.com for the bestest, most above average law community out there. And what else? Get out there, exercise, eat healthy, sunlight, talk to people in real life, and now you know your vlog. Peace out. Booyah!
Or encumber these assets anymore. They will then start to sell them off. Properties here, commercial properties. He has 2 or 3, for example, parking garage. Gets it because there's something mentally wrong with somebody who doesn't understand. The judge has had enough. He's messing with the wrong. Going to take this. He is not going to just of this. And on top of that, look, we're all sitting here and we're all watching every single day. They will operate all 10 o'clock again. Same bad time, same bad channel. See you then.